So yesterday I was in East Tennessee looking at some apartment complexes. Got on a plane this morning, and I'm up in Fairfax County, Virginia, Vienna exactly, right outside of DC. And I'm very familiar with this area. I've done so many appraisals up here. And this property right behind me is a shopping center that was listed for sale, and somebody asked me to come up and look at a couple of shopping centers that are listed for sale. And I'll go over the underwriting in a separate video on this one compared to another one not too far away in the same area. Now this area is very good. I mean, around me you look, see, this is like a segment. That one building is a segment in this entire like L-shaped shopping center. All the occupancy is always very good in this shopping center, so rarely does anything come available. The only bad part is they're all individually owned, so you know another segment of the building is owned by somebody else, and then you're competing with them. But it's not a problem in this case. Sometimes I've seen it a problem where you know you're all in the same shopping center and your next door neighbor owns a segment of that shopping center and they become your worst competitor. But this one's very good because occupancy is very low here. Demographics are great here. And so a look at this, and then we'll go to another one, and then in a separate video I'll do the underwriting on both of them. Okay, now I'm over here in Fairfax, not too far away from Vienna, Virginia, and there's this nice little 4-unit strip center here. Now both these units today that I'm showing you are about between the $5 and $7 million range. And both of them have their pluses and their minuses. But I'll go through them in an underwriting sheet with you. Yeah, I'm wearing the same shirt, so I looked at both properties in the same day. Actually, it's been 3 days apart. I've been wearing the same shirt. No, I'm kidding. Come on. So anyways, this is a good little unit here. 4 good, solid tenants, I think. And we'll go over the expenses and the possible income and compare it to one to the other and see how it works out. And remember, list prices are not contract prices, typically. What somebody's asking for something is not necessarily what it's worth, usually. So you have to look at your overall investment strategy, the income of these properties, the leases on these properties, and what the future may bring. Okay, here's the third one of the day in Fredericksburg, Virginia. Not too far from the other ones. One was in Vienna, Virginia, and one was in Fairfax. This is a little larger, more tenants, more diversification. Good location, but you know, not close to the Metro DC, Virginia suburb area. This is more southern, 35 miles south, right off of 95. But it's a good little strip center. You got one tenant, I don't know if they're moving in or out down there. But it's fully occupied as of the time of listing. So I'm a certified general appraiser, commercial appraiser in DC, Virginia, Maryland, Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Hawaii, where I will be in a couple weeks. So if you're interested in finding more about commercial property, if you're interested in finding more about valuing commercial property, underwriting commercial property, investing in commercial property, buying commercial property, follow my channels. I do it all as far as the commercial investing aspect of it. But what I'm mostly known for is being able to find value. Okay, here we are in Roanoke, Virginia, and here is a large strip center. This one is a lot different than the ones we looked at yesterday in Fairfax County, Virginia, which were in Vienna and Fairfax, Virginia. Fairfax and Vienna, the top notch in demographics. You got high density population there. You have per capita income that's very healthy, and you have rental rates that's very strong, occupancy rates that are very low. Here you have a lot lower density in population. You have a lot lower per capita income. Also, this is the same price range in that $5 to $7, $8 million range. And look at this as a much larger center. This is also an opportunity zone. We'll do a separate video on opportunity zone investing. But you see here, you'll have a lot more roof that you have to maintain. You have a parking lot, a lot bigger, you'll have to maintain. And this one is showing signs of crackage. So all these things are a lot more in upkeep. And then your rent per square foot is a lot lower here. So you can have a nice little 4-unit that is less than 8,000 square feet, 10,000 square feet, to a large shopping center that is a lot more tenants, a lot more risk for vacancy, because this area has a lot more competition in space and a lot less demand. So you have to go back and forth what's best for your investment. So I will do a separate video on opportunity zone investing, the different locations, how per capita income and density and vacancy rates play in the investment decision. And remember, I'm an appraiser, commercial appraiser in DC, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Hawaii. But when I do these investment analysis, this is like hands-on, in the dirt, where the rubber meets the road underwriting. This isn't the armchair underwriting like everybody else does for their preliminary. This is when we're actually going out into the field, looking at these properties, seeing how they are in actuality. You can look at a bunch of pictures and you'll never get the right idea. Once you're on the ground and you see it, you see the mix, you see the neighbors, you see the traffic patterns, you see the entrances, you see everything else, you get a lot better picture. And that's what I do. I'm not just a value expert, I'm an investment expert. And that's why I get paid to go out and look at these properties. I'm not cheap, I'm always busy, I'm always all over the place in all these states. And it's because of my decades of knowledge. You're not going to meet anybody that has more real estate education, more experience doing appraisals, and more investments themselves, that combination. You're not going to meet anybody else like me. And I have the work ethic of being raised on the farm, so my work ethic is insane. And so that's how I get so much done in so many different places. Of all the places I just mentioned, the two most unique places to invest are DC and Hawaii. There, the numbers just don't work. You say, oh, what are they doing? But there's so much international money, so many cash purchases, multi-million-dollar purchases cash. And that's just not like it is in other places where you're actually investing for a reasonable return and you're investing to go step up from one property to the other. Multifamilies in Hawaii, the return is minimal. So listen to my other videos. If you have specific questions, just give me a call, shoot me a text, and I'm easy to work with, easy to get along with. I've worked for hundreds of different banks, hundreds of investors I do analysis for.